What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? 1 second here. Just going live. Give me a second here. A little pump up music for the week. Very, very, very excited for this week. Probably one of the most exciting trading weeks, in my opinion, coming up. Very excited. Give me a second. Trying to get everyone logged in here. We got all social media channels dialing in for this one, so give me a minute or two here. Okay, just give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Let everyone trickle in here. Just want to make sure everyone's sort of coming in here. I want to make sure no one misses the session. I know it's going to be on repeat. It's also for free and premium members today. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to SPUDZone Official on YouTube. If you are subscribed, we have a Discord channel, almost 17,000 members now in less than a year. Ton of options, ton of charting, ton of education, but also real-time alerts during the day. What I'm trading, what I'm seeing, what our options pros are seeing, and what we're seeing in the indexes as well. So highly suggest. It's a great community, hundreds, thousands communicating a day. Sort of the no BS, and we just focus on A+ setups. So highly suggest you subscribe to the Discord as well. But today I am very excited. I'm in a great mood. Hope everyone had a phenomenal weekend. So really today I wanted to go over two things. I know we're going to do this a little bit differently today. We have a ton of premium folks dialed in, and we have obviously a lot of free members and random folks dialing in really from everywhere. Sort of StockTwits, Webull, Discord. I'm sure we got some Reddit folks, a little bit everywhere. So I'm really excited to kind of run through this session. It's going to be a little bit different this time. It's going to be more of like a watch list sort of focused, taking it very slow, talking through really where my eyes are this week in terms of, what setups I'm seeing, where I want to see tickers go, and some areas where I think could be potential big upside. So we'll find out, and we'll see sort of what looks good for the week, and I'm going to kind of talk through that. A couple large caps that I've alerted in the past week or two, and I'm going to focus on maybe 3 or 4 small caps, and then I'm going to give out basically the rest of the watch list tonight, as normally every Sunday night for all premium members. I do that, and I'll have a bunch more picks in sort of the written normal format that you guys have seen over the years. So yeah, bear with me. Super excited. Going to give it about another 30 seconds here for folks to log in, and then we'll get going. Get your pen and paper ready. I'm going to talk through a bunch of stuff as well in terms of some education as well, especially for all those new traders, supports, resistances, all the good stuff. Okay. Awesome. So I'm going to start today's session. with ticker SGOC. SGOC. I mean, guys, this was a monster on Friday. Absolute monster. Blew out all my price target estimations. I mean, when I say blew out, I mean hundreds of percentages blew out. I thought this would maybe peak 6, 7, 8s, and we went to 18s. This was an absolute crazy move. I know some folks are still holding from the 4s. The initial watch alert, I said, watch on this break of 4. Could see major upside, and I couldn't even get a position. This thing halted up to 8, 9s. I felt like I was chasing up there, but I'm gonna run through this. Trade. This hit scanner. So before I dive into anything, I use typically what I trade intraday is 3, 5, 15. What I mean by that is the 3-minute chart here, 5-minute chart here, and a 15-minute overlook. 15-minute overlook gives me really what's the volume in the last 15 minutes, what's the volume in the last 30 minutes. Kind of see, is volume increasing? Is order inflow increasing? Are the green candles higher than the red? Are we seeing more buyers than sellers? So that gives me that That gives me that look. That gives me that touch / feel of where a ticker is going to go. 5-minute chart really tells me like, okay, where are the buyers coming in? Where are the support lines? Where do we want to see a pullback? How do I catch my washout dip to maybe enter a long, quick scalp, or maybe a long swing toward the end of the day, right, to sell higher? And my 3 minutes more so my super volatile sort of quick look, where the maybe consolidation is, where the range of the ticker is going. But I want to run through. I made about 3 trades on this ticker name Friday for approximately a little over about $34,000 here on this ticker name just alone. I probably could have made a good 6 figures, 100, 200 grand here, but I was playing with some small size on this name. I was doing about 100 to 200K entries here in very small scalps. Never really got the size I wanted to get into on this name because I felt like buying in this zone up here from the 10 to 18s was a little bit chasey, a little bit risky, even though the volume was absurd. I mean, this was trading at about 10, 15-minute candles, a little over 20, 30, 40 million dollars in exchange funds. So, I mean, this traded billions of dollars on Friday, and I expect more out of this ticker, whether it pulls back before it rips higher. I don't see this ticker being done. It kind of reminds me of that ORPH trade a month ago, where it ripped, and then 2-3 days later it ripped for another 100%. So I will gonna be watching this week. But before I time to dive into the weekly watch list, I want to talk through where I made money, where I entered on this ticker name. So I'm gonna pull up the 5-minute chart intraday. I don't think it's worth running through a weekly or daily chart. There's just nothing there. I mean, this was just, if you look at the weekly back from 2020, it's done nothing. Super low volume, basically in this entire zone for about a year. And then really it just kind of came alive Friday. And so the initial first time I got a scanner alert, I saw this thing rising. It wasn't a low float scan alert. It's a 30 million share, float, retail float. So I saw this right in here. I saw a leg up 9 to about 28, 30% move right in here on these 2 candles. All the way down here, guys. This was approximately about 11:50, 12 Eastern time. So it wasn't in the morning. This was a post-morning mover. Kind of came out of nowhere. So I saw this move, and then I sort of saw this channel in here. I alerted it. I said, hey, maybe look for a quick scalp here, guys. This broke 4s with volume increasing here. 500, right? 88,000. Then 2 million shares came through. And I said, okay, whoa, a lot of buyers out of nowhere here. Maybe we see another gap up to maybe 5, 6s, maybe. So I alerted, maybe a watch this, guys, could be a nice potential rip. It broke the 4s. And right on that pullback, literally as I'm typing in real time, I think within less than 2 minutes, 3 minutes, we saw some profit taking immediately. And then boom, this thing just halts up. 36% move within 10 minutes, halted. And then halts up again. Another 50% move. 50%, so that's 30 plus 50, that's 80% in 20 minutes. And keep in mind, traders couldn't get in or out in this zone, right? So you have shorts who tried shorting the pop here, now are stuck in this area, down 80 to 100% off a halt, right? And then we finally get unhalted back up here. This thing peaks, wow, all the way to 12 at the high, halts down, right? Halts down again for another 14. But now we get a crazy amount of new buyers. So we got 2 million shares come in, and that's right around the 6, 7, 8 range, right? That's a big candle, guys. That's 38% move in one candle who bought the double down halt dip. I love to get in after double down halt dips, but I felt like this was chasing. I felt like maybe this would come back down. I totally underestimated the strength on this ticker name. But when I saw that candle, I said, okay, this thing's kind of strong. I'm going to wait maybe for another 30, 40 minutes to see if I get a better entry. So I sort of watched this kind of consolidate here, right? And as I said, it was consolidating way above this candle, above the 7. So I'm like, whoa, this thing's still strong. The 7, 8, 9's like maybe we see 10 to 12, 13s again. All of a sudden, I missed this whole opportunity here. I missed to get in before the 2 halts. I know some members were messaging, holy shit, Spud, this thing just rocketed 100% on me. I had no clue. I bought in 3 minutes later, I was up 100%. It's just sometimes these things happen. It was just a parabolic supernova ticker. I mean, no one could predict that move, but the volume just came in and it went nuts. And you have to understand, for day traders, guys, they want two things. For me as a day trader, this is what I look for. These are the two things that are automatic, close my eyes, buy alerts. One, volume's increasing per candle, which we kind of see throughout the day, right? Two, I call it range percentages. When a ticker has this kind of range, 18, 18, 50, 25, 25. I mean, guys, that's 100% move in 20 minutes. And it's just a normal 5-minute green candle. So that is what I call percentage range. So that is what a lot of day traders see, and they go, wow, like there could be even more upside. And obviously you saw the large amount of day traders missed the initial run, but played it here. And that's where I played my share. That's where I made some money here, but I actually made majority of my money in here. I know there's a lot of red candles in there, but I made my money in there, and I'm going to talk through that trade as well. So here's what happened. I mean, this thing kept going. I saw a candle here come in for 7. I immediately jumped right in here, right in this candle. I held through this little pullback, and then boom, I sold the rip right in here. Sold around 1140, entered in the high 9s. So that was a quick 15-20% scalp for me right there. And I call that low risk. Why did I call that low risk? Because this candle right here is when I got in, was peaking the high of these 3 candle consolidations, right? So any shorts in here, any new shorts in here, they're all stuck. When they see this break, a lot of folks started to slowly trickle and cover. Then we see the majority of shorts cover here. That was 5 million shares, guys. 5 million shares, which is more than the 2 and 2 million that came through in prior candles, right? So I imagine half of that candle on the 5 million was 2 million shares worth of shorts in here. Because now we got a new HOD, right? We got a new high of the day. And that means when we see a new break and a new high of the day, we only can probably see higher, right? And so I sold in here. I definitely sold too soon. I missed down the third leg up. And then this thing caught eyes, profit taking, of course, on the next lick down. And then boom, new buyers came in. They saw the strength. They saw the percentage range. To my point again, 27 plus 8, right? We got another 35, 36% here. Another 42% in 15 minutes, guys. 15 minutes. We're seeing 40, 50% moves. Then it sort of consolidates. I didn't expect it to go higher than maybe 14 on that, 12 to 14, and it ripped to 18s. As I said, I mentioned this initial buy alert way down here in the 4s, right? Way down here. Then it sort of breaks out. Slows down. And I was waiting for this, guys. In the afternoon, I'm like, I waited about an hour here, 5, 10, 15, about an hour here, an hour and a half. I wanted a washout. I wanted a washout because I saw the range on this name. A lot of shorts picked up positions here, right? Guess what happened? 8, 19 per se, right? So maybe another 25, 28% here. Then down another 12%, right? So we saw like a 30% down move from the highs all the way down to the 10s. And so what happened was on me on this name, I took an initial position here, which I'll probably show you. It might be on the 3-minute chart more. But I got the initial first washout right in here around 1470, right on the bottom lick. And why did I take that position in my second scalp? This is scalp number 2. Why did I buy right in here? Anyone know the answer to that? If you're typing on the live feed right now, please give a guess. Why? Because you see the bottom lick here of this red candle, the initial profit taking dip. We saw a low here of about 14, probably about 1430, 40. That was a stop loss rate, right? So I threw a quick bid in. This went down about 1440 again, right here. So I figured that might be a new support for maybe a run back to the 17s. But I did not hold for that long. I bought the 1470, 20,000 shares, decent size in there. A little bit over, what is that? Almost 300 grand. And I quickly sold the green pop. There was an initial pop here. I had my offer my take profit right at 1540. Blew right through it. I probably didn't get the best sell there, but I hit 16 and then immediately dumped 15, 20 minutes later down to new lows. So I made a quick about 12, 14 grand in this area. Great. That's scalp number 2. Now, scalp number 3, I left about 30% on the table. I'm going to talk through this trade here, but there was a ton of opportunity on this ticker name, guys. And if I'm going too fast, I apologize. I know I tend to speak fast. I get excited about tickers, and I love this stuff. It's easy to, sometimes it's really easy to predict, and it's really exciting when you land an entry that it's going to go to, and the move that's going to happen prior, right? So we saw this stock sort of what I call a washout here. This was about 5, 10, 14. So that's a 30% move again. So now we're at highs of 18s, guys, and now we're at lows of 10 to 11s in this zone, right? Why did I take an entry in the 10-11s looking for 12, 13, 14s? Why? Right here. If you see the volume started to increase in this zone, which is about, bottom of this lick was about 1070, top of this lick was about 1180. So I wanted to get an entry right in this zone. I got an entry, 10,000 shares. I went half the size I did here because obviously the downtrend, not a downtrend, but intraday sort of downtrend started, right? So I didn't want to use the same size because if it broke down on me all the way to the 9s, I'd be screwed and I would have lost all the profits I made in here. So I went half the size. I went in about 120 grand. 10,000 shares here. I got in at 1070. I got a really great entry. 1070 right on this lick, right in here. Might have been even that red candle here. Then I got more nervous, but it kind of went down for 5 minutes. It went all the way down back to, I think it was like another 10 something, 1037, right? So I was like, ooh, okay, maybe I got to stop. I put my stop under this candle here. It's about 970, and I said, I'll lose my 10K if it hits. Fine. All of a sudden, I alerted that in real time. A ton of buyers came in here. I said, watch for the consolidation, a quick one though, because it was I call that a washout long dip. When a stock like this, guys, is trading 100 million shares plus, and you see day traders playing this range, right? Now we have shorts who shorted the top. Now they're up 50%, guys, in less than 40 minutes. They're up 50 to 70%. So like for a short, they're like, who loaded size here. They made a quick 50, 70%. Everyone's winning on this stock name right now. If you're losing on a ticker like this, guys, there's a problem and you need to be, you need to sit down and talk to yourself why you're losing on a stock like this, whether you're shorting or making money on it on the bull ride up. But there is no reason why you should be losing money on this ticker name on a Friday. So then we saw a rip here. I alerted the buy in here. 5, 10, 15 minutes later, this thing rips. All of a sudden, we get a nice candle up 15%, right? It's actually easier on the 5 minute to see that candle because it's so much stronger in terms of the strength size. 33% candle in 5 minutes, guys. And it didn't even halt. Just 3 million shares came through. And I suspect probably 1.5 million shares of those are shorts that accumulated in here and sold the rip. Why would they not sell the rip? They're up 40, 50%, right? Why would they not sell that rip? Only the greedy ones got, and then now the greedy ones start to cover in here. And then we saw, obviously, it's Friday. We saw some washing out, lower volume here on the drops. Had a little after hours drop and then a pull up back to the 11s, which is great. But I made money. I sold right in here. I wanted to sell. This is where I wanted to sell, guys, the top of this red candle. Why? Because this is where it broke down. This is where the consolidated and then it broke down, right? So I sold the rip all the way up into here. I think I had my ask at 12. Bought 10,000 shares at 1080. Sold right at 12. So that was a quick 12 grand within about 4.5 minutes. I didn't have to do anything. It was just an easy candle, Rick. I could probably move my take profit order. But guys, I was not expecting a 33% rip, So I got my 15%ish, 10, 15%ish, and I was not expecting 33%. If I was, I would have quickly raised that take profit order into the next candle, which would have been about a 1480, which it hit on that third piece there. Hit all the way high of 1461, so that candle. I probably would have loved to sell in that range. Would have been another 20K, but it is what it is. I wasn't being greedy. I hit my quick target. That was scalp number 3, right? So scalp here, and then I scalped up into there. So I hope these moves are coming naturally to people. I hope people are now seeing this, right? You see a nice breakdown, higher lows, right? Boom, rip up new highs, sell into the peak. Okay, let's wait for the washout dip to here, and then one more maybe rip to end of day, right? Dip, rip, and then maybe down more, right? So you have to kind of see these. I knew the exact move, what this ticker was going to do before it did it. I knew the move was going to be a washout. I knew there'd be a little cat, but the cat bounce, guys, are not little. They're not 3 to 5%. That's what I'm saying. The range percentage here, they're like 30, 50%. This is a day trader's paradise. People made, hundreds of thousands of dollars on this ticker name because the range, right? So that's why I talk through range. So this is going to be one of the top watches for me, right? For the week of July 12th here, right? Is that what we're in? The week of July 11th here, July 12th. This is going to be a watch for me. Maybe you get a washout here in the 7s. This would be a great long entry here, guys. 6 to 7 8s. That would be a great entry for that. And you might get a rip back to the 15, 16, 17 zone. So that could be a 40, 50% quick gainer. You get a washout Monday or Tuesday, look for that spot right in here, right? Look for that nice spot, 7, 8, 9s. I don't know if you're going to get it. You might not even get 10s or 9s, but if you do get it, maybe you wake up tomorrow morning, this is already at 13, 14. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know that most day traders are going to be watching this because of how much range. Who knows? It goes to 20, 30, 40 bucks. We don't know. But this will be a watch tomorrow. There was a ton of momentum on this name. And this, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, was an aerospace I think it was like a technology, advanced technology distribution, something along those lines in that sector. We had Virgin Galactic, Richard Branson go this morning, successful, sort of hitting expectations for that flight. So I do think this could be a next sector momentum play. Look for sympathies off this name Monday, Tuesday morning. I'm going to talk through a few of my sleeper picks that I think could be sympathies this week to this ticker name, as well as to the aerospace and sort of that industry / sector. In terms of a small med cap, we could see a couple 100, 200, 300% movers. I will be watching those. So I know I kind of went through a lot just on this ticker name, but I think it's very important, guys, especially for you guys who want to be day traders or swing traders, of where I entered and where I exited, because those are crucial. And, you could have gotten lucky and bought in here and just basically said, oh, I'm going to sell in here and made 200-300%, but the day traders aren't holding that long. They're selling here, they're buying here, they're selling there, they're buying here, they're selling there, right? So, this is a day trader's paradise, as I mentioned. Awesome. So this will be a watch on the watch list this week. That was a great trade for me, a couple trades Friday for me. I'm going to shift focus here into two large cap names. I alerted them last week, beginning of the watch list, Sunday night of last week. One of them, which many know this company, I'm sure everyone's heard of, Amazon. Amazon. So I want to pull up this chart, guys, because a lot of people are afraid. I'm going to show the weekly chart. A lot of people, guys, are afraid to buy stocks at all-time highs. And I totally disagree on that theory. I cannot disagree more, to be honest, because specifically in a mid to large cap, billions and billions of market cap, if not trillions on this name, I mean, that it's hard to say because this stock, guys, has had strong earnings, strong news, great for the most part in the last 2 years. And it has not really moved. If we take a look at the weekly chart, it has not really had a breakout in like over a year and a half. I mean, we go back to 2020, this time last year in July, it's just sitting here. Good news for the year, guys. A year of consolidation in here. Finally, we saw these two breakout moves here, and we saw a test, right? This was a 52-week high, all-time company high. Dropped, dumped, tested again, missed again. All right, maybe we'll test it 4 or 5 months later. Tips it out again at 3,500. Okay, we get another dump back down. We get another rip. Test it again at 3,500. Nope, we break. That's 3 times we've tested 3,500 in a span of 1 year and no breakthrough. You saw a ton of call options, guys, coming in on those 3,700s, those 3,800s, right? For July, August, EXP. That's a short timeline. We also saw January, big spikes in those 3,800 4Ks. So options traders are betting on a breakout, on finally breaking out of this consolidation zone. And when it does, you're going to see a minor squeeze, 2, 3, 4, 5%, in my opinion. So this break right here on the daily chart, we saw it. I'm going to take a look from the daily. We saw it, right? You have all-time highs here, right? These are where the all-time highs are. This broke through, guys, this past week. And we saw not just a breakthrough, almost a 5% move in Amazon. And you option guys, as you probably know on the line here, like that's a 3, 4, 500% options call option move. I mean, that's a powerful move, right? You're playing that whether you're playing weekly, monthly, quarterly options. That's a major breakout. So I alerted Amazon calls last Sunday. Some premium members made a little over 400 or 500%. Got a ton of DMs about this name. A great trade, and it was a stress-free trade. Markets are at all-time highs. Momentum is high. Bulls high. Algos are accumulating still. It's a crazy world we live in right now. I don't know why markets are this high. I really don't. I don't agree with them being this high, but guess what? I'm still going to ride momentum. I'm still going to play what traders are doing, right? Whether that's the option, small cap, med cap, large cap communities. And this just blew out. This blew out here. On the break of this, I said, look for new highs, take positions. And so then we saw the rip even higher. So this could potentially see 38, 39 over the next few weeks or month. Maybe it gets a breakdown back to all-time highs 35 and then bounces to new highs 38s, right? So keep an eye on this name, guys. I do think there's some more upside here. Maybe another 4 to 6%. I really do. That could be another 500 to 1,000% premium gains on the percentage, on the percentage scale. So keep an eye on Amazon, ticker AMZN. So another large cap name I like. These are going to be my 2 large cap names focus. I alerted this one as well Sunday. Ticker Chipotle. You guys probably had their burritos, probably had their bowls. I absolutely love it. Chipotle is one of my favorite sort of to-go fast food in terms of like a kind of healthy version to get something good on the road and quickly. So, this stock I really like from a technical analysis standpoint. I'm looking at the daily chart here, guys. We had a COVID bubble down, and actually, no, this wasn't COVID. Or was it COVID? Sorry. This was the E. coli scare down the 300s. I actually bought this years ago, 18, 17. It was a couple grand. I had in my Roth IRA. I bought this years ago. I sold, I think, in the 5s. This was 2-3 years ago. Didn't put much liquidity in that thing, but I bought them and a few other tickers on beat up news. And guys, this is rallied back from the 300s all the way to 1600. So that's 500-600% gains in 3 years. I mean, that's great. Index funds, mutual funds. I'm sure you're a financial advisor. A lot of people have money in this stock long term. They have a great digital e-commerce space. They're sort of crushing that digital payments, fast mobile payments. A lot of people are paying digitally now. They have their own app they've built. So they have a lot of good things going for them. Margins are, great right now. Maybe with COVID and, increased in terms of compensation for workers, they might take a hit in a couple quarters. I don't know. But right now, from a chart perspective, guys, technicals are there. Right, we saw we saw all-time highs here. Same thing, similar stock, $1,500. We saw a breakdown. I think this was when COVID hit. Then we see a retest of this levels, another breakdown, right? And then we see a third retest. And typically, guys, I call this the 3 retest rule. Take a pen and paper right now. I call this the three retest rule. On that third test of all-time highs for a ticker or a random resistant break. You can use this from small cap trading. You can use this from med cap trading or large cap trading. When a ticker tends to retest that resistance level, specific resistance level, or a 52-week high or an all-time high, they tend to break through. That's just my experience over the years trading. They tend to break through to new highs or break that resistance peak. And so what do we see on Chipotle? I alerted calls again. And this has another great percentage range similar to Amazon, where if the stock goes up 1 or 2%, the calls are going up 50 to 100% in a day, right? So this is another stock that I'm going to be watching this week for calls, and it could be an easy money gainer. Markets are still high, right? Markets are hot. If the markets are green, expect traders to maybe bring this to 1700s, which would be another 3 to 5% gap up. And we see real all-time highs come in here. Could be a couple quick 100 percentage points on the calls. I highly suggest you watch this in Amazon this week. Could see more. A lot of analysts and big names are bullish on this. You turn on CNBC, Bloomberg. A lot of folks are talking about that trade. I'm not creating this trade. You can follow the large money. You can see the chart. You can see where things may be headed, right? We could see that 17 mark before maybe a fall back down to the 14. So keep an eye on Chipotle. That's ticker CMG. Awesome. We went through 2 large caps so far today, and we went through the supernova parabolic mover, SGOC. I'm going to highlight 2 other trades that, stocks that I will be eyeing on my tape this week in the small cap space, typically small cap space, is ticker first one, Mtsl. May have saw it, had a nice breakout Friday. I had no position, didn't play it. But sort of here's what I'm going to be watching on this ticker name. I want to quickly walk through the weekly chart because I think I'm starting to do it more. I think it's really important to look at the big picture of a stock, not just the last maybe 30 to 90 days, but like maybe the last couple of years, right? So Mtsl, this was an interesting one. We got all-time highs up here in this, basically way up here in the 25s all-time. A lot of consolidation in the 6s, and then kind of breakdown all the way, I guess, 72 cents. Maybe that was a split or something. But as you can see, we've had a ton of resistance here in the 4s. We've had licks all the way up to the 6s, right? See these candlesticks? This is on the weekly chart, by the way, guys, the W for weekly. So a lot of licks here in the 5-6 resistance, right? Big gap down here into those 4-5s, right? So if you're a trader and you're looking at this move and it breaks the 6s, right? From a weekly standpoint, where do you guys see this stock going? I'm curious, right? In the comment section, where do you see this going? It's pretty obvious. What's up here? Right? 8, 40, 50, 60, high lick of the 950. That's approximately, guys, another 40 to 60% off of where we traded and closed on Friday. That's a 53% move on Friday. Do I expect this to just shoot up to 8.9s? No. Will we wake up tomorrow morning pre-market and it's at 8.9s? I don't know. But that is an area where I'd potentially look to sell this stock, this ticker name. And what I mean by that is maybe this pulls back and we can see a multi-day run and maybe retest that 7, 8, 9 zone, which would be approximately 20 to 50 or maybe even more percentage, excuse me, higher than where we are. So this is a stock I'm watching. If we look at the daily chart, we saw a breakthrough, and this was the confirmation here. We broke this red tick here, which is 384s. The only thing that scares me is this big red candle on 94 million shares, and the high was about 560. I know we broke that in after hours, but we didn't break that during a trading day, right? The highest we got is 474, or sorry, 644, and it kind of died down throughout the day. Halted up a few times on Friday. And people are calling this a sympathy off of SGOC, so keep this on the tape. If SGOC is running, we could see this as a potential sympathy gap up, 789. So traders are going to be eyeing this one for sure. Keep an eye on this one, guys. We could see that gap fill start to fill out to 789. So it's going to be a watch for this week. Let me quickly show you the 5-minute chart just from the other day. I mean, it doesn't look obviously good. We got some halt ups in here, and we got some halt downs in here, and then sort of some selling pressure Friday. Buyers kind of rode this dip, and then we got some after hours, small volume push up. So, maybe you want to try this guy in the 390s to low 4s if you get it. Probably not. Maybe you want to try him in the 430, 450 zone if you get it. Don't think you're going to get that either, but if you can, maybe that, maybe a 5-10% stop loss, maybe a mental stop loss here. Could be a multi-day swing opportunity back to the 6s. So keep an eye on this one. That will be a watch this week. And then everyone I see on social media, as well as my Discord, I see 100 in my Discord. Obviously, Spud Zone Official, if you're not subscribed, highly suggest you subscribe. Tons of great content, real-time entries, everything exactly what I'm trading. See it in my Discord, Discord link right in my YouTube. I'll talk through that shortly. Feel free to scroll up now. But ticker SPCE space, Virgin Galactic. Branson, as I mentioned, went to outer space this morning at about 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Everyone's saying it's successful launch. Obviously, he got there and back, no injuries. Smooth landing, as they would say. So, a lot of hype around this one, a lot of shorts around this one. You got the whole Reddit, AMC, GME crowds. Everyone's talking about this one. You got a lot of institutional backings on this one, which is also weird because you got a lot of large institutional shorts. So, it's a battle of bulls and shorts here on this ticker name. Now you got algos on it. The volume has been crazy recently. I don't know where this one's going to go. And to me, I don't like to play uncertainties. I don't know if this is going to be a sell the news and it goes to 45 tomorrow. I don't know if this is going to be a buy the news and it goes to 60, 70 tomorrow. But I will say from a daily perspective, we've seen crazy, to say the least, this is a roller coaster. Back in 2020, last year, we saw a move all the way to 62. We then saw a move basically to 62. You can't see it here on this candle here, but it hit 60, 61, 62 in after hours that one day on the news. And then we saw basically a dump all the way down to the freaking, I think this hit 39 or 40s in after hours or pre-market one morning. And so it's been just volatile. Look at these rips, up rip, down rip, 10, 20% moves. It's dangerous. It's great to day trade, buy the dips, sell the rips, or short the top, sell the buy the bottoms. So it's kind of like this zone. And for me, I don't see a clear direction yet on space. I don't see a clear direction, on Virgin Galactic. But I will say, if this 62 breaks on volume, I would love to buy that break, guys. I'd love to buy that 62, maybe multi-day swing it all the way up to 70. I think this can hit 68, 70. But it's got to break that line for me. Guess what? If it doesn't break that 62 for me, guys, and I don't see millions and millions of shares being covered from short perspective, I'm not going to probably touch it. Maybe I'll touch it down in the 43s where I alerted a buy originally in the 50s, selling 60s, and I originally alerted a buy on the breakdown at the 48 to 43 range. So you would have been up. You could have sold at 54. You could have made a quick 20, 30% in a week period on my buy alert down in here. I know a lot of members bought that dip and made 20 to 30% overnight on the news a couple days ago. So, there's a lot of opportunity again on this one. There's a lot of range percentage. The float's, pretty high. Well, there's a big, large percentage of shorts on this float. I think it's like 15 to 30%. And so, shorts are trying to hammer it down. Bulls are trying to hammer it up. A lot of good news. But also there's been a lot of bad news. There's a lot of analyst downgrades, whether they're on the short side or bullish side. There's been double downgrades. So I don't like to play stocks that don't have a clear direction, right? I go back to Amazon. I go back to Chipotle. You can look at the technicals and know that it's just going up right now. There hasn't been any pullbacks. It's just going up, right? So I would rather probably buy calls there than I would buy them here. I would say this is more of your lotto pick. So those who like to play the AMC, GME, we're going to go to the moon or whatever the hell these kids are saying these days, tendies or whatever that means. Like maybe this is a play for you. Maybe you can get that 70% sort of powwow touch and make a couple thousand percentage on the calls or maybe 20, 30% on your shares. So keep an eye on this one for this week. I think it's going to go either way. I don't see this name trading sideways. I'd be shocked if it does. So those are my three, basically 5 names I've talked through. There's a couple more here. I know I've been on now for about 30 minutes, so I do want to stop, but this will be on the watch list this week. Ticker MMAT. Short term, everyone's probably saying, excuse my language, my ass is probably getting destroyed on this one because, daily in a short term period in a week and a half, this thing's dropped like 80% from the highs. And the chart from the daily perspective, to be quite frank, guys, looks disgusting. It looks atrocious. But you know what? From a weekly, monthly standpoint, it really doesn't look that bad. From a weekly standpoint, we saw rips in here, and we saw a break of that. And then now we're seeing a rip back down to where the support and consolidation was, which is your 3 to 4 to 5 zone. So really, here's where you might want to take a position and get out on the bottom of that candle. Maybe you see 7/8 in the future, right? If you see the monthly chart now, we're kind of in this zone. I mean, if it consolidates right in this area, I think that 482 in all these charts is screaming buy to me. Weekly chart, 482. I mean, where's that 482? It's going to be here somewhere. There it is, that candle. So that we're right here now. We're like in that zone. We're in that accumulation zone where maybe 380 to 480, like that's a play to maybe the top of this lick. 677s, that's a 20, 30% move. A little bit of a higher risk. There's a lot of selling pressure. People got those dividend shares out. Now there's a ton of new shorts. There's a lot of drama on this stock name. I don't want to get involved with it, so I may not trade it, but I will be buying it this week because it could be a great setup for a quick 20, 30%, 1 to 2 week hold here. If it doesn't get that move in 1 or 2, 3 weeks, maybe cut it loose. It might take another 2, 3 months to make that move. And to be honest, guys, I don't have the time to hold it for that. I'm looking for a quick 20, 30% and kind of move on. They do have calls now on the option side. They do have contracts. So this could be an interesting one to start. Small starter here. Maybe you get $5.50, $6 calls for, we are mid-July, maybe mid-August. You look for those $6 hitters. It could be cheap, 30, 40, 50 cents. I would not be paying in the ones for this. Don't pay it on the high IV. I wouldn't be touching it on that aspect. But if those calls are cheap, maybe they look like a good bargain. Maybe take a starter there. Average down into the low 4s. But cut it loose if this thing starts to hit the 3s. So that's my take on this ticker here, MMAT, recently TRCH. As many know, I alerted TRCH back in January. I don't even want to show you guys where I alerted this thing. I think it was under ones, maybe $1. 89, was it 89 cents or $1 in here? So you could have made I don't even know. What is that? 2,000%? 3,000%? Yeah, almost, I guess 2,200%. You could have made. So one of the best plays of the year so far. We found it early. That was a great trade for us. A lot of folks got in here. And people were up 500, 1,000 percentage. You can't complain about those gains. I call it you hit the lotto, sell and move on gains. Could be life changing. So, I knew this thing would break down. Did I know it was going to sort of break the 9s this fast? No. I thought it'd hold here a little bit, maybe get a cat, but there's been no cat bounce. One cat bounce here we played. We bought in the 5s, we sold at 7s. And then it broke down more. But I've scalped this. I don't like holding this overnight. It's a little volatile, as you saw on Friday. I don't know where the heck the sellers came from, but this just sold off on more than normal volume the last few days. So I am a little bit skeptical. Maybe look for one more red washout dip before we get a green cat, but keep an eye on this one. I wouldn't say it's a primary first-hand watch, but definitely second or third watch because, once again, this has a lot of range, but right now there's a lot of selling pressure, whether that's shorts or just folks who are fed up with the stock that just want to take a loss for the year, who bought in here, who are, down 50%, or folks who are still bought in here or just want to say, get me the heck out of this ticker. So keep an eye on this one. Don't know where it's going to go, but this is a good buy zone, in my opinion, for a potential little rip back to the sevens, okay? Okay. So that's really it, guys. I hope this session's helpful. If you are one of my 1,000 subscribers on, whether you're, part of StockTwits, whether you're part of Webull, whether you're a part of any other social media platform that I sent this link out to, I do not do these free webinars often where I break down my watches, where I break down my trades. I do this for all my thousands of premium members. If you'd like to be a premium member, see the Discord SpudZone official link in the YouTube channel right above. It's right, you can't miss it. My support team right now is running through comments. You can actually just at them. They will give you the Discord info. We have a full-on options team, support team, chart breakdowns just like this. A ton of live alerts, what I'm trading, whether I'm swinging, whether I'm adding to a Roth IRA position, whether I'm day trading, what targets I'm looking for. Things move fast in a day, guys. I try to give you what I'm seeing in real time. I try to be the most transparent trader. I tell you on my red days. I tell you on my big green days. It's just how I like to go about. Red days make you better. As a trader, you learn from your losses. It's the only way to learn in this profession. So keep your heads up. Keep studying. Don't be emotionally tied to a stock. Make those gains. Buy those dips. Sell those rips. And I hope everyone has a phenomenal trading week. I cannot wait for this week. Very excited. We saw all-time highs last week in the indexes, and I think we might see some bull pressure, some bull momentum, over the next 5 to 15 to 20 trading days, maybe before we get a market correction or pullback, which I think is much needed in the August to December timeframe. As many know, I went hedged long on December 15, 425 puts. I do think that's a great area for a nice 4 to 5% pullback. That's my zone. I'd like to make 30, 40% on those contracts. But I'm down in the red on those right now, about 4 or 5%. So not too worried about the volatility on those. I think I'll hit green, but I do see more bull run coming, especially after Friday's close. Pretty crazy. But yeah, so guys, hit the subscribe below if you want to see more stuff like this. And please, right now in the Discord or YouTube comments, was this helpful? Was there some other things you want to see? I really want to read the feedback because I do this out of my spare time. For hundreds or thousands of you guys. So I don't have to do this, but I want to help as many people as I can because knowledge is power, and you can learn a lot from this, from each other, from the charts, from the technicals. Aside from fundamentals of a company, you can see where the direction of a stock's going just by reading some charts and doing some studying. So hopefully this is helpful, guys. I'm really excited for this week, and have an awesome week. I'll be going to grab a quick beer for my Sunday little powwow here, and I'll see everyone bright and early tomorrow for pre-market. Cheers, guys. Subscribe below. See you in the Discord. Bye-bye.